I bought a new 72-inch belt sander, stationary type, from Vevor, obviously, and haven't picked it up yet. As far as by hand, the box felt pretty heavy. They said it was 183 pounds. Brought it down here on my skid, but they definitely know how to pack something. I'll give them credit there. Okay, crate's open. Looks like it's pretty well protected in there. It's bolted to the bottom of the crate. And I thought I was gonna have to do a lot of assembly. Looked like it's pretty well ready to go. But let me lift it up out of there with a hoist and get it unwrapped and we'll take a look. Yeah, my first impression was right. Definitely a bunch of parts. Will need some assembly, not a big deal. Actually, it's kind of fun to do that stuff, and it makes it a little bit lighter to move that around with everything attached. That motor is stout, so that bad boy is already heavy enough. The shipping container said it was 183 pounds, so it's pretty close. What I'm gonna do first though, I'll build a table for it, get the main unit mounted to the table, and I'll assemble it there. I just recently made these couple of tables, one from a small bandsaw, one from my Evolution chop saw. Use some 3/16 plate for the tabletop. They use rib nuts to secure it. Makes them easier to bolt down and take back off if I have to. And just a basic table, little tray in the bottom, and everything in my shop, except my plasma table, everything is on casters. So there's the tabletop ready for the grinder. What I've done is put in some nut zerts, basically, or excuse me, rib nuts, where it's essentially like a rivet, but it's threaded on the inside. It pulls tight like a rivet, then it's threaded, and you can put your fastener in there. And it's basically a captive nut, and I really like using those. Okay, there it is, all finished up. Yes, it's overkill. It's 2x2 eighth wall. I just happen to have a bunch of it, and it was already pre-primed. So I just hit the rest with some primer and have it ready to go. We've got the rib nuts in there. That's what's gonna bolt it down. And one of the things I do in my shop is I set everything to the same height. Makes a lot of things easier. Have to have an extra long support somewhere, or in this case, I can only use one arm right now, so these made up perfectly. I can just slide it off. So anything can support the other end of something. That table, my actual welding table, this table, several other things in here, the bed of the bandsaw, the bed of the chop saw, they're all the exact same height. So I'm gonna get this guy slid over, bolted down, and I'll assemble it and give you kind of a follow-up on that. So the on-off switch is not attached. It just comes loose like this. I'm assuming, they assume you're gonna build some type of a table for it and bolt it or fasten it somehow. It's already wired, ready to plug in, 120 volts, so it's ready to go. I'm just gonna take some double-sided tape, put it right about here for now, and then we'll just see where my hand naturally goes to try to turn it on and go from there. All right, so it comes with 3 different configurations you can do. This is adjustable. Of course, figure wherever you want it. You got an actual wheel here to hold the belt on for one style. Much wider radius. Toss this out of the way. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. This type of configuration where you can put one of these 2 different size of rollers with bearings in there to hold it for a much tighter radius if you want that. And the third style, which I'm gonna do for the most part initially anyway, is the type that's got the rollers top and bottom, and you've got a flat surface here to hold the belt. And of course, you can adjust it in any position you want. You've got the actual little bed here, bed rest to put up against it as well. So let me set this up and we'll fire it up for its first run. Okay, interesting thing. It definitely has some pull-up amps when you go onto it. I tried 2 different extension cords, retractable extension cords off the wall that have the little built-in push button breaker. And within 2 seconds of this thing firing up, it tripped the breaker. Thought it was in my panel, but it's in the actual switch in the cord. So here's the much heavier one I have on my welding table. Pull quite a bit of amps with grinders running off of it, no problem, but check this out. Tripped it right away. Even though the color didn't go completely out, it does kick it back and trips it. So my wall outlets are 20 amps or higher. I plugged into a couple different ones. It runs great there. So let me just put a regular cord on it where I can reach a little bit and I'll get it running. Okay, you definitely have to hook it straight to a wall outlet. It comes with such a short little cord on here. I don't want to use an extension cord. I'm probably going to get a 10 gauge cord, probably put 20 feet of cord onto it because there it is plugged into the wall and directly on a wall with a 20 amp breaker. Runs just fine. So let's grind on something. Okay, let's grind on something. Got a piece of some 1/4 inch angle stock. So round bottom of the corner off, see what it does. Just one pass over and back. There it goes. Oh, it got warm real quick. Definitely got a smooth pass on there. All right, there it is, set it, ready to go. The wheel and the little couple of rollers that are additional type of grinders, I'll probably build some fixtures or something down there to hang it on so they just stay with the cart. This thing is solid. It's a well-built motor. It's got a ton of torque. I've worked with some other brands of this type of sander, like Bailey and Jet, and to me, this is comparable to a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 grinder. Everything is heavy duty. Everything is well made. Everything is square. The motor does pull some amps. So you can be prepared for that, but that's what gives it a lot of torque. My only real complaint was what it comes with is not very aggressive. It's got 100, 120, and 180 grit. I usually run 36 to 40, so I've got some more belts on order. That's going to be my go-to for most of these. And overall, for what I paid for it, I think, you know, a good one like, again, Jet, Bailey, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for some of these. This is like $850 or $900. It's not variable speed, which I don't care about. And I got this with a discount coupon for signing up, and I got it for $550 shipped. And I'm not sponsored. This was not given to me. I paid out of my pocket for this, so I definitely want to make sure I'm getting good bang for my buck. Anyway, let me know if you have any comments or questions about it. Okay, side note, follow up. When I fired it up, I was sitting over here grinding on something. The way the wheel turns and the motor pulls, it pulls it down this way and keeps the part in spot so it won't kick up at you, but that means sparks are coming back up, traveling along the belt. This looks like it should have something mounted there. There's a hole to mount something, but there's no part that comes with it, nothing on the parts list, nothing on the instruction manual. So it was shooting sparks right at me, so I just cut a quick little 1 3/4 by 4.5 piece of a 14 gauge, just kind of tacked it in place. That way, if I have to take it off, I can. Obviously, I'll hit it with some spray paint and touch it up, make it look a little bit nicer, but that totally remedied the problem. The belt clears perfectly fine. It'll move through there without hitting it at all, but that keeps the sparks out of my face, which I really don't feel like eating a face full of sparks every time I go to grind something. So I'll reach out to Vevor and let them know what the problem is and see if maybe they want to address it for people, but bear that in mind if you get one of these.